What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Toshi today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 22nd day of September, and here we are down at about 30744. We've got about 9 hours, 24 minutes left in the day. Down 9.8% on the day, right? A lot of cryptos kind of look like this right now, where, whoops, that's might not be the best representation. Look like this, where they've moved down, they have a nice wick. But Toshi does not have a wick at all. Does this mean that Toshi's in the dumps? It's got lower to go? Maybe. But you are also right here at a point where I would expect that you find support. We did think that this was the low, and for a time it was. But hey, here we are, looking like we're going lower, and that's okay. I think it's totally fine that we're down here. Not a lot of volume so far. 9 hours, 24 minutes left in this day. Not a whole lot of volume in comparison to the past few days. So it's interesting to see such a big day with such low levels of volume, but that typically is better than it is worse, right? That means that this is probably not a substantiated move, and you should revert back to the upside at any moment now. Anybody and everybody who wanted to buy Toshi up here, or who might have looked at the price up here and was thinking, damn, I wish I bought down here. Well, you're not that far off now. You're not that far off, and you might just get a second chance at that, right? Doesn't really happen too often, but that was a very massive move. You know, something like that with that amount of volume, 51% like that with that amount of volume, I don't think that that's just a random incident. I think that there's a lot of money going into this thing. I think that there will be some movements up that come from this. We're just shaking out a little bit right now because Bitcoin is, because the rest of the market is, and it's not a big deal. Okay, let's look at the 1 hour time frame. We'll zoom out from there. We'll see if this is the low. If it's not, where might the low be? And what do we have to look forward to afterwards, right? This is not the end of the cycle. This is not the top for Toshi. There's definitely more to go. Just have to be patient, okay? Where we are right now, by the way, we're right at these prior closing highs on resistance right here, resistance right there, resistance right there. A little bit below these points, but that's okay. If we take this relative low here, put it at this relative high, we're right there at the golden ratio. And with that, we might go a little bit lower because the golden ratio is just a little bit lower. If we're looking at this here, let's see, from a high to a low, yeah, the golden ratio down there is a little bit lower too. It would make sense to go a little bit lower, in all honesty. Time will tell. We'll see how it goes. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame, okay? 1 hour here, 3074, that's the price. The RSI is bearish, very bearish. We might come up a little bit from here, reject the 40 and then come back down. Maybe we get some bullish divergence or something like that, but the RSI is bearish here. Typically, it's better to buy in the oversold zone than it is to sell in the oversold zone. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I don't believe that we're at the low yet, but I do believe we're near it, okay? We probably move up a little bit from here, and when I say a little bit, at the most, we go up to like 3079. I don't think we get too much past that, though. Stochastics are bearish. The MACD is bearish as well. Looking at the 4 hour time frame here. Oh, that's nice. 1 hour, 21 minutes left. Let's see how this 4 hour closes. If we do close green, which I think we might, that would get us a bounce off the oversold zone. That's actually a really nice look. Getting overbought consistently, rejecting the oversold zone, that is a really nice look over on the 4 day time frame here. The stochastics are about to cross up, which would be nice, but overall bearish. The MACD is right at the 0. If we could cross this up and move green, we can bounce off the oversold zone. If we can get this back out of the oversold zone, maybe we'll bounce off the 0 with the MACD, and that would be bullish as well if we could do something like that. Very possible outcome to have some bullish stuff going on here, but I don't think that we're at the low just yet, right? Again, you might come up a little bit from here. Perhaps what you do is you go, and maybe you even go a little bit higher than I was thinking. Maybe you go higher than 0079. Perhaps we do go up to like 0085. 0085, 0086. Sorry, 3 zeros, not 2 zeros. Maybe 3079. Somewhere in that area, though. Something in this kind of zone is what I'd expect we do. And then we'll probably continue going lower, right? A lower high, and then lower lows await. Even if we break this kind of trajectory here where these highs connect, even if we break that, I didn't draw it the best. I'm not the best at drawing straight lines, something like that. Even if we break that, don't get too bullish. Don't get overly excited. It's very possible that we go lower. Or maybe we even just find some kind of higher low or double bottom, something like that, and then we move up higher. Time will tell. Overall, though, I do like the 4 hour. I mean, there's some bearish expressions here for sure, but if this 4 hour, if on the next hour and 19 minute we can close here or higher, I think that'd be very beneficial for the price, at least over the coming days. Okay, daily time frame here, and all that to say, I don't want to be confusing. I feel like it might be confusing. I do believe we have lower to go. I don't believe we're at the low. I do believe we have lower. I don't believe we're at the low. Does that make sense? We are in the golden ratio zone in that kind of aspect there. Maybe. You know, I would normally want to take this low, but if we're just looking at this move overall, I mean, that low might be more appropriate. It depends. Let's see. Let's look at which one's being more respected. They're both pretty well respected. This one seems to have more respect, so I would think we go lower. 3072, 3068. Just because we move higher over the coming day or days does not mean that we won't move lower inevitably. You know, maybe Wednesday or Thursday we're down here. I don't know. That's kind of the expectation at the moment that I would have. Okay. Again, I came back to say that because talking about the 4 hour looking bullishly postured here, areas that could be significant for support might give the wrong impression. I do still believe we have lower to go, but time will tell. We'll see how it goes. Stochastics crossing down below the 50, that would suggest we have lower to go as well. MACD, the MACD's all right, but you could go lower and still look all right. The RSI does look bullish overall, but we could go lower and you still look bullish overall. Maybe we get a lower low in the RSI, we bounce off the 40 or something like that. We get a higher low in the price. So higher lows there, lower lows there. That'd be hidden bullish divergence. That'd be a good look. So very possible that we come down and we find support right there at that 3068, 3072 area. And then from there, we should begin to rally. We should begin to move higher. We're on Coinbase. Let's look at the MEXC chart. Looking at the MEXC chart here. Sorry. I hate that I've been clearing my throat this whole damn day. Every video that I'm making, it's just like half of it's me doing that. Looking at this chart here, I very much do believe that we're on the precipice of greatness. We really are. You look at it here, you've got a flat top, very well shaved top, very well shaven top with higher lows coming in. Shout out to Ethan. Ethan was my main inspiration behind the shave. Gotta say. Anybody, if you don't know who Ethan Gallstad is, you got to check him out. First off, great human being, very successful human being. But if you check him out, you'll know what I mean by he was my inspiration. He's got the bald head. Shout out to the E Gang. I know that there's some of you that are in here that watch these Toshi videos. Anyways, 307 right now. We got this flat top, very shaved top. That's where I got distracted with higher lows coming in. There's very little doubt in my head that this thing's going to do anything but move up, right? You get the shaved top, you're going to move up. You're going to move up in life. You're going to move up. That's how it is, man. That's all successful people have bald heads. Maybe not all of them. You look at Elon Musk, but he got hair transplants or hair implants or whatever, right? He had some hair therapy. Anyways, high to low. If you don't believe me, check him out whenever he graduated college. He definitely and he looks great. He looks great with his hair. No hate. I love Elon Musk, but he should have embraced the bald side, man. He'd probably be a trillionaire by this point. Imagine how much more money he would have if he if he just shaved his head. All that hair is holding you back. High to low, 307 right now. I very much believe that when this breaks out, you're going to continue to rally. You're going to see some dramatically higher prices, and the ultimate target destination that we're going to is about half a cent to 1 cent, something like this. This is where I believe we will be either by the end of October. At this point, maybe it is in the beginning of November. Certainly by the end of the year, we'll be up at this area, and I would even think that by the end of the year, we're at higher prices. That's my expectation. With the current discount that we've received, which this week we're already down 10%, we're down 36% from the recent high. You guys, what a time. For most cryptos, I'm in a kind of wait and see moment. You know, buy the dip if you want to, do whatever you want, but for Toshi, we're definitely in buy the dip territory. You're down 36% from your high. Absolutely, we're in buy the dip territory. Even if we go lower, you're at 3073 right now. We could go down to 3068. I still think that we're at a good buy the dip territory here. We're basically right back at the prices that I originally bought back here in, was it May? Was it all that time ago? Really? I think it was May. Yeah. We're basically right at the same area, so I think it's perfect time to buy. Um, from the current price to the minimum target, that's about a 6x. To the maximum target, that's about a 14x. Okay, 6 to 14x, you go to 0.0045, $0.01, somewhere in that area. That's ultimately where I think we'll be by the end of October, if not very early November. Going into the end of the year, I would expect we're either at 1 cent or higher prices, okay? Dramatically, fantastically higher prices. But time will tell. We'll see how it goes. I don't think I have anything else that I want to talk about. We could talk about the all-time highs. Okay, we could talk about the all-time highs real quick. Let's look at Toshi here. Toshi having a $311 million market cap, decent volume. There's a lot going on in the ecosystem that is Toshi in itself. It's a little bit more than just a meme coin. $311 million. If you were to see a 100x, that puts you at a $31 billion market cap, and you absolutely could see that. I think you absolutely could. Right? Shiba Inu last cycle, you guys, saw a $50 billion market cap. I think Toshi is capable of seeing at least half that, if not at most double that, right? So something right there in between would be a $30 billion market cap. That's 100x. 100x from here puts you at about 69 cents, 70 cents. 100x from here puts you at these fantastic valuations. I'm sorry. Whew, I was way high there. 7 cents, 6.9 cents, 7 cents, somewhere around there. About 7.36 cents. That would be 100x, okay? Could you go higher than that? Let's see. Let's see what these fibs line up with. High to low here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think Toshi could hit a 12-cent price by the end of this cycle, absolutely. At a bare minimum, we're looking like seeing something about 5 cents, which again would be about a 75, 76x. Sure, yeah, you could see that. I highly doubt that we stop at anything below 5 cents. I genuinely do. So you've got a lot of growth to go. Even at the minimum standard, even at the pessimistic standard, you're outperforming the average altcoin. But I genuinely believe that we're going to see like a 5 cent price or higher when this cycle's all said and done, you guys. Absolutely, I do. So get it while it's hot. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Do whatever you want. But if you want to make some money in the meme coin market, you're not going to do it as successfully or easily on Dex Screener or with your Phantom wallets. You could do it really easily on Coinbase just by getting some Toshi. I really do believe this thing has a lot of growth, and I don't believe that we get up here and then it consolidates, and then next cycle we're running to even higher highs. Maybe next cycle we see higher highs, but what I do believe is that we'll get up here, it'll be short-lived, and then the bear market hits, and it's going to hit hard, man. You're going to dump 90% or more. So get in, get out, right? That's the whole plan. Depending on the amount of funds you have, you want to layer out ahead of time. But if you've got like $1,000 or $10,000, maybe $100,000, you don't really have to worry about layering out unless you're trying to DCA out and you want that cost average. But if you have millions of dollars or more, which maybe you do now, maybe you will then, if you have millions of dollars or more, you should probably think about layering out week by week, day by day. You know what I mean? That way you're not, because again, this moment up here, it's going to be very short-lived. It's not going to be like this. You're not going to have weeks on weeks to decide what to do. So have your stuff layered out, have it ready to go, take a little bit out daily, and then if things go against you, never hurts to do a market order. Always check too. If you're going to do a market order with fat amounts of cash, just look at the preview, see how much it impacts the market, what you're getting out, right? Because Coinbase will, if you're using Coinbase, or I guess there's MEXC. What other exchanges are there? Does Binance US offer it? Binance US. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. Binance has perpetuals. Whatever exchange you're using, Kraken, Coinbase probably has the most liquidity behind Binance, but Binance US probably has less liquidity than Coinbase does, unless they tap into the same liquidity pools. I don't know. I don't know how all that works, honestly, but just look at the preview of the order. If the price difference isn't significant enough to where you would rather do a limit order over a series of DCAing out, if that market order is good enough for you, just take that market order. There's nothing wrong with doing a market order as long as you're aware of the disparity in what that what's the word I want to look for, that cost would be, that margin difference would be. I don't know. If that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it, right? But I don't know how else to explain it, so I gave it my best. Hit the like button, subscribe, plan accordingly, okay? If you're wondering, is it a good time to buy? I think if you wait, you'll probably have cheaper prices to buy. But at the same time, what you're waiting for, just understand again, what you're waiting for is this. Oops, not even that. Not even that. So what you're waiting for, it's not even that big. So that you can capitalize on something that is bigger than this, right? Bigger than this even. Like it's going to be absolutely phenomenal, right? Is it worth waiting? I don't think so. I would say buy the dip right now, personally. Not because I think Toshi's at its low. I do think it's going lower, but I'd say buy the dip here because it's already so low from its relative high that it just had last week. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye, Toshinites.